Hi, I'm Michaela Nankin.
I'm Richard Lammercraft and we work in the Microsoft team here at Softcat, and today we've compiled a list of the most commonly asked questions around Office 365. Straight in, for me, the most commonly asked question I'm often asked is, Office 365, what actually is it? In a nutshell, it's hosted Exchange, SharePoint and Link with a copy of Office to consume it through.
The question we get asked all the time around the Office side of things is, do I actually require an internet connection to run Office?
The answer to that is very much, it depends. There's a lot of variations in the suites. If it's one of the suites that only includes the web apps, then you're going to need to be online to have access to that. A lot of the suites do include local installation rights for Office Professional Plus though, and that works very much in the same way as traditional on-premise licensing. Local install of Office will work absolutely fine whether you're online or not.
I guess the big difference is that traditionally you're used to licensing Office on a per device basis, whereas Office 365 Pro Plus is sort of addressing mobility and saying actually it's not really commercially effective when people have multiple devices, so let's license you on a per user basis and give you multiple installs of Office 365 Pro Plus instead.
So, how many installations does the licensed user get?
Everyone's got a different answer to this. The actual official stance on it is you get 15 installs. That's not spread over sort of 15 devices. It's split up into 5 PC, Macs and laptops. You've also got 5 mobile devices and then 5 tablets as well.
And that can be any mix of iOS or Android for the tablet devices. And it's also worth being clear that it doesn't matter if it's corporately owned devices or personally owned, you're just licensing the user.
Yeah, exactly, which leads quite nicely on to the next question around, do I require a different license to license Mac users or will it work for Mac users as well?
Yes, so fortunately, no, that's absolutely fine. Of those 5 PC installs, you can substitute any number of those for installation of Office for Mac on an Apple device. So, who owns the data?
Big question, because actually you're taking your data and putting it in Microsoft data centers. So, is it Microsoft that owns it? Is it the customer that owns it still? And actually, it's very much still you as a customer. Microsoft's sort of description of it is that they act as the custodians of it, but you're still very much the owners of that data.
How reliable is the service? Obviously, you're shifting business-critical workloads and entrusting them to Microsoft, so how reliable is it?
Yeah, everyone wants to know that because, uptime is so important. And what Microsoft say on it is they will promise you a 99.9% uptime on all of the online services. So they're really putting their money where their mouth is there.
So how secure is my data? In a word, very. There's a whole heap of information available on the Office 365 Trust Centre for this. That also includes a bit more information around the reliability of the service.
Yeah, the Trust Centre is a really good website that explains all about the compliancy side of things, data sovereignty, and you'll also get the uptimes for the last 8 quarters, so you'll know exactly how reliable that service is.
Where is my data located?
Very simply, if you've bought in the UK, your data resides in Dublin, and then it's replicated in Amsterdam. So those are the Northern Europe data centres for Office 365.
Do I need to put everybody on the same Office 365 service? Unfortunately, the answer to that is no. One of the main benefits around 365 is it's incredibly flexible. So you can choose to license just a subset of your organisation, so you can have half of the organisation using on-premise Exchange, you can have half using hosted. Equally, you can mix and match the components that they take as well. So perhaps some people will need to have the ability to have access to Link or to have access to SharePoint, and half may not. So it's very flexible.
Yeah, it's because Microsoft appreciate that you actually might not have all your users require Office. Some might require a mailbox or just Link or whatever. So you can actually mix and match from within the Office 365 family as well, which makes it particularly scalable and flexible.
Yes, so from a licensing point of view, not everybody has to have the same either. You can have a blend.
I get asked quite a lot what happens to my old licensing.
Yes. So again, the answer to that is very much depends on what that old licensing is. So if it's subscription based, if it's perpetually owned, if there's self-assurance coverage, if there isn't. Pretty much, unless you're taking subscription-based licensing or software-assured licensing and migrating it where possible to Office 365, then nothing changes. Your old licensing is still your old licensing. You're just buying a new add-on service to replace it.
A question I get asked pretty much every day is actually what happens if I don't like the service, because people are investing in something new. Have they sort of signed themselves into a lifetime commitment? And simply the answer is no. And this goes back on the sort of who owns the data. Because you own that data, you can actually extract it whenever you want and stop consuming the service. If you want to stop consuming it, you just stop paying on an annual basis. So actually, it's very easy to come out of should you wish to.
On a similar note, I think it's worth being clear from a licensing point of view that on a lot of the through a lot of the plans that you buy, you actually have what Microsoft call dual use rights, which means that same license that will cover you for hosted Exchange, SharePoint and Lync will double up and cover you for to access your on-premise servers of Exchange, SharePoint and Lync as well.
So a lot of customers will ask, and this is quite a vague one, but how do I get from A to B? How do I get from on-premise to...
Yeah, how do we actually implement this stuff?
Exactly. And there's no real right answer to that, because everyone has different priorities, everyone's got different timescales, and everyone's got different drivers to move to 365. What I would say is internally we've got migration consultants that can assist with an Exchange deployment. We also work with partners as well, so whether it's SharePoint or Lync or Exchange or just the Office side of things, we can assist you. It's always worth having a phone call about, just to understand your drivers and your needs there.
And finally, how do I buy it? Which is a lengthy topic in its own right, but to keep it brief, there again there's no one way to buy it. So there's a multitude of different options, ranging from the self-service online portal all the way up to a full enterprise agreement, and any variety of options in between. So the best bet is to speak with your Softcat account manager, who will book in a call with a member of either us or one of our team, and we can decide the best fit for you.
Yeah, absolutely. If you do have any more questions or you need any more information on Office 365 or Microsoft, please just contact your account manager or visit softcat.com. And thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.